Cantarella is currently the second banner live for version 2.5 of Wuthering Waves, and since we still have 21 days left until version 2.6, a couple of you may want to pull Cantarella since you missed out on her the first time round. However, you may or may not know whether or not if Cantarella is actually free to play or not. And that's what I'm aiming to answer today. And in order to get to that answer, I'm going to have to discuss 3 things in today's video. 1. How universal is Cantarella's kit? 2. What is Cantarella's free to play team options? And 3. How much does Cantarella impact your account? But without further ado, this is Cantarella, the free-to-play hero or the free-to-play nightmare. So what I mean by her kit being universal is whether or not if any character outside of the Mono Havoc teams can benefit from Cantarella's kit. Now, this can vary from just her outro skill all the way to a couple of things in her kit. However, before we get into the characters, let's discuss a couple of things in Cantarella's kit. And first things first is going to be Hazy Dream. Hazy Dream. The sickness is whooping me. Now, this ability in her resonance skill will slow down enemies' movements and will deal damage considered basic attack damage. While the damage Hazy Dream deals won't be triggered by other resonators on your team, the slow effect is still overall beneficial for main DPS characters. Next up is her Resonance Liberation, and to sum this up as much as possible, this is going to allow Cantarella to use follow-up attacks whenever another Resonator on your team attacks the enemy. As a sub DPS, Cantarella can provide off-field damage with his ultimate, and practically any damage dealer can and will benefit from Cantarella's follow-up attacks. Her Forte circuit can heal all of your teammates, and you know it's healing. And last but not least is her outro skill, which will boost Havoc damage by 20% and boost Resonance skill damage by 25%. Excluding the Havoc damage boost, a couple of characters can actually benefit from a solid 25% Resonance skill damage bonus. And speaking of those characters, let's get straight into them right now. Starting with the free-to-play category, Havoc Rover is going to be her best option, and since there's nothing really unique in Rover's kit, Cantarella's outro skill will increase Rover's skill and ultimate's overall damage, thanks to it boosting Havoc damage and Resonance skill damage. This also means that Cantarella's follow-up attack will help Rover deal a lot of damage. Dodgin is going to be her second best option, and I'm honestly not surprised. Dodgin basically benefits from everything in Cantarella's kit. Her outro's Havoc and Resonance skill damage bonus means that Dodgin's skill and ultimate's overall damage increases. Not to mention that Cantarella's follow-up attacks can also help with dealing overall damage. And that's pretty much it for the free-to-play category. Now, I would usually bring up a couple of questionable choices like the Reddit moderator, but in this case, as a free-to-play player, spending your asteroids wisely is literally the most important goal here, and this is one of Cantarella's flaws. Now, that does not mean it's impossible to use her with other characters like Alto. However, I'm going to be as real as I can when it comes to these skip or pull videos. So I'm not gonna bloat one side with unusual choices. So yes, Cantarella does suffer from a lack of proper free-to-play options. As for the pay-to-win side, Frolova is her best option. Now, I've already discussed why they're both like peanut butter and jelly twice on this channel already, but TLDR, Cantarella's entire kit counts as using Echo skill, and Frolova heavily benefits from this. On top of that, her outro's skill boosts Havoc and Resonance skill damage. And to prevent myself from constantly repeating myself, Camilla, Carlotta, and Jinshi all benefit from Cantarella's outro and ultimate. Again, since Kurua hasn't released a 4-star since Lumi, there really isn't any free-to-play options available for Cantarella. On top of that, the Havoc roster isn't nearly as fleshed out as the other categories, so this is why the pay-to-win side looks absolutely stacked compared to the free-to-play side. But regardless, I think it's time to get into her best free-to-play team, and Cantarella's best free-to-play team is going to be with Havoc, Rover, and Farina. This quite literally is the best you can do with Cantarella as a free-to-play player. Now, this isn't bad by any means, but it could most definitely be hell of a lot better. But again, Kuro Games seems to be really stingy when it comes to 4 stars in this game. I just don't know why. And if you're wondering what's her best pay-to-win team, then it's going to be with Frolova and Rochia. And of course, this legit is the strongest Havoc team in the game, and it's not even close. And lastly, I want to discuss the impact she'll have on your account. And quite frankly, as a Havoc sub DPS with off-field damage, she's going to be a staple in the Havoc department for a pretty long time. And since Havoc hasn't been fleshed out enough, Cantarella is going to eventually find her way into more and more teams as time goes on. However, this can also be a negative as well. While yes, there aren't a lot of Havoc DPS characters, there's also a lack of Havoc support characters as well. And when more Havoc support characters comes out, this could very well send Cantarella in a spiral of fall off in the near future. Now, this possible scenario can be avoided by having more characters that scale off of resident skill damage. This can further extend her growth outside of the mono Havoc teams and solidify herself as a staple sub-DPS in the future. However, if you do end up deciding to go for Cantarella as a free-to-play player, then she's definitely a long-term investment character that has a lot of room to continue growing the more Havoc characters release. But as of right now, she's a Havoc 5-star that benefits a lot from players who pull for a lot of decent 5-stars that are Havoc characters or characters that scale off of resident skill damage. And Cantarella will also benefit a lot from future Havoc and Universal supporters all around, since she as well can be a DPS. Well, not can be, she is a DPS as well. But anyways, that's going to be it for the video. This is yet another short video since this is my first time making a proper skip or pull for Wuthering Waves. So forgive me if it really isn't up to the standards like my usual videos. On top of that, I am sick as a dog right now, so yeah, no wonder I made a lot of mistakes in this video. But anyways, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. My Discord server is live right now, so make sure you check that out whenever you can. And I will see you all in the next Wuthering Waves video. Signing off.
I've been so tired. I don't wanna fight, but you're a liar. I need your help, cause the situation's dire. I'm so sick of using people to get higher. Yeah, we can take a pic.